Hello and welcome to a Smurpy video, and today we are looking at X-Men issue 30, and we are looking at the X-Men that, well, never happened. These are all the dead X-Men that were killed at the fall of X when the Gala was attacked. The only survivor was Juggernaut, and on the back, Cerebro scan, the subject, the dead X-Men. There we go. You can read that if you want. So anyway, let me just adjust my camera. I don't usually end up doing a cover that is this way. It's usually portrait. So before I begin, there is some very questionable art in terms of raunchiness. So if you are far too young, under the age of 18, please don't look at it. But if you are off teenage years, I'm sure you've seen worse. So anyway, let's open this up as I cringe. Yes, the scene begins with a dream of Cyclops and Jean Grey together. And Cyclops is in this dream frustrated that Jean and him missing from the X-Men and that they need you. And then he starts questioning if she's real, and she's like, well, I know you've been tortured, etc. And, you know, Scott, I am the fire. Now, not sure if that's a premonition. I haven't read any of the Jean Grey stories, so who knows what is going to happen. But we get Cyclops awake. He is now in Paris and out of America due to perhaps a Ben Urich's expose on Orchis. And they put him into one of his earlier X-Men costumes. He says first uniform, but it wasn't his first uniform. This is the first uniform he chose to wear. The other one was his original X-Men costume, and he believes that this is going to is part of the propaganda that Orchis are playing. So the assessor reviews his sleep and his deceased wife, and he says she's not deceased, she's just not here. And she's like, it's just a dream. And he goes, it's not a dream if it's real. So she then speaks to Dr. Status and explains that this man is clean, not fit for a trial. He's probably having a psychotic breakdown. He has signs of torture. And he certainly is not going to meet the standards of a death penalty. However, Dr. Status informs her that, well, that's not going in your review, is it? Otherwise, that black sheep of a mutie will be exposed and may disappear. So, do what you must. The trial is going to happen, etc. So, The Prince of Keeping Dreams Alive. So, written by Gerry Duggan. Phil Noto is the artist. Feces Claying Cows is on the letters. Tom Miller and Jay Bowen is on design. So then some more questionable art. It looks like a tarot card. So we talk about Synch and Talon. We know about their journey into the vault and how they were in there for centuries and how they eventually fell in love with each other. But that is not a story for now. A story for now is the X-Men with Tony Stark, Spider-Man, and Gold Goblin coming up with a plan. Now, there is a way to prevent the kill switch that Orchis has laced drugs into various humans to be stopped. But the question is, how do they administrate that? So, just in between that, Miss Marvel and Tony Stark have a rendezvous with Firestar to discuss their mission and their plans in this counter-attack. Spider-Man comes up with the idea, not intentionally, that, you know, what about Sauron? We know that he always wanted to turn people into dinosaurs, and then he's like, yeah, I know, dumb idea, but it's not a dumb idea, it's a great idea. And Cinch remembers a time when this run started very early on, maybe issue 2, 3, or 4, or maybe even 5, I cannot remember. The High Evolutionary came to Earth and attacked them, and the only way to end it was by drawing some blood from Synch and sharing that. On offer that day was a way for mutant Dom to become the ultimate rulers of Earth, but they didn't want it because that's not what there is. So the archer is on counter Earth. And Talon says, I think I was asleep the year I slept in. Which is odd. And throughout this, it's almost like she sort of doesn't really remember it. It's a bit bizarre. Anyway, they have a plan. Talon and Synch are going to go approach this. Meanwhile, Iron Man speaks to Firestar. They have a plan to mislead Orchis to think that they are going to be in Australia. But he also says it's time for you to get out. You've got to get out now. Once this happens in the outback, you're going to leave. You're never going to go back. You know, you've done all you can there. So this next bit of information she is going to feed is going to lead to her escape. And we know that that may not happen. So, counter Earth. Synch and Talon eventually team up with some creatures that don't necessarily agree with the High Evolution, and they've come to speak to High Evolutionary about having this bomb and this way to cure these people using this bomb with his assistance. So this is not the dominance that he was perhaps expecting. So Synch uses Karma's powers to take care of, I've forgotten her name already, I literally just looked at it, Luminous, very easily. So, they are only going to have the prize if they defeat the High Evolutionary. That is his way of giving this prize to them, and they go into attack. And it is a very short fight. A fight that we do not see, and we move on to what's going on Mars with Phelong. So they're going to go to Australia outback, and Mars is going to attack Earth, spring this trap, and the Sentinels will be waiting. And then Firestar pleads. Some of them are good people who can be saved, and he says, you're special, not them. So the mutant betrayer that isn't actually a betrayer. So they've got it fixed. He says, congrats. And Stark says, are you okay? Now, initially you don't think everything's wrong, because we get Talon and Synch talking in the hallway, saying how did I escape Counter Earth? I don't remember. He says, you were badly hurt. We got you to the shutter. Once again, you were almost killed covering our back. And then Miss Marvel comes in and says, who are you talking to? Yeah, that's right. This fight did not go down well. And Synch starts telling Talon how it really went down. And in reality, they lost. The High Evolutioner killed Talon by making her shove her claws in herself and burning her to smithereens. Begone, Synch of Krakoa. We will meet again at a time of my choosing. You've paid for the fire that you've stolen. So they have the mechanism that they have, but at a great cost. And this one is heart-wrenching because it's a story that's been told over a period of time. And like I said, I don't usually get emotional over comics, but they've done such a good job in turning this from Jonathan Hickman sending them into the vault in the first time, for Talon sacrificing herself so Synch could escape the first time, and we thought she was dead. Then bringing her back, and then doing this again, and knowing that the fact that the sort of agreement is whoever dies first out of Talon and Laura, whoever dies first sort of sacrifices themselves while the other one lives. And if I remember rightly, I can't remember what Laura's in terms of other series. Is she in Dark X-Men or something like that? She could be somewhere else. That means Talon's actually in a bad place. There's no resurrection at the moment either. This is not good at all. So this makes it all real again. The fact that there is no 5 bringing everybody back, etc., etc. Death is real once again, and a real threat. So he just ends it with, "You're still alive, Talon." He used Jean's power to pull her mind into his, and he's acting like a cerebro. And he says he's going to fix it. He's going to find a way to fix it. He promises. He has no way how he's going to achieve that, but interesting issue. One that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting this to tie in with the bigger Fall of X story, but it does not. So, yeah, one that I wasn't expecting this to happen. So, yeah, great issue. Once again, very, very happy with the format. Happy with how this went. Got it how it ended, but the shock was there the moment that I knew that Miss Marvel said, "Who are you talking to?" That was it. What a great issue. Anyway, hope you like my overview, my run through, whatever you want to call it. Make sure if you like my channel, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. Thank you to subscribe to my channel. As always, look after yourself. Embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.